Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again with a new movie uh, called Weapons from 2025, directed by, take my notebook, Zach Greger. Never heard of the guy. It gets a 7.6 on IMDb, not a bad score. It does get a 5.5 from me, and I'll explain later. From my point of view, it's not a bad score. Before I start, please like the video if you like it and subscribe. It's free, no worries, a badge of honor for me. So, first of all, who do you got in the movie? You got Julia Garner playing Justine, a teacher. She's also in the Fantastic Four. She's also in Ozark. Then you have Josh Brolin playing a guy named Archer. He's also in Deadpool 2, No Country for Old Men. And then you have Amy Madigan. She plays Aunt Gladys, and is basically our villain. And she plays in Uncle Buck with John Candy. That's an old movie, right? Now, and you have a few key points. You have Paul, the cop, a junkie, and you've got Alex, and you've got Marcus, the principal. These are somewhat of your key characters. So what happens is at 2:17 midnight, through house cams, every other kid just runs away in this weird style with their arms open, Naruto style. Uh, and I'll show you a picture if I can find one. What a Naruto run is. I don't. It's a manga, but I don't know about. But there was a moment when they wanted to raid Area 51, which would be super dangerous, but all would run in a Naruto run like that. Yeah. So I'll put a picture on it. The movie, like I said, all these kids, about, I'm not sure, 20 kids or something, an entire class, um, except one kid, Alex, disappears. And Justine, the teacher, her class, all her kids disappear, except, like I said, Alex. Now, of course, everybody's blaming the teacher and thinking she's a witch and she's evil and she has something to do with it. But it's actually on the Gladys. Now, the thing that kind of. So when she's introduced, she's like. So you've got basically like multiple story, multiple point of views, like a Tarantino movie, right? You got the point of view of Justine. You got a point of view of Archer. You got the point of view of the cop, Paul. You got a point of view even for the junkie. You got a point of view of Marcus, the principal. And you got a point of view of Alex, and that's the last one, because then you know how the kids disappeared. It's through Alex you know how the kids disappeared, so they keep him for last. The biggest storytelling is around Justine and a little bit around Josh Brolin, Archer, right? And so as far as I know, I never seen that sword. I'm thinking I never seen that in a horror movie where they use the non-linear style that Tarantino uses in a horror movie. Now I'm not up to recent movies. I saw this one in the theater, but I liked it for what it is. It's a slow burn. It's a psychological horror. They even say it's a dark comedy on IMDb, which I did not really see as a dark comedy. Although there's a funny, so I'm gonna spoil this movie. There's a fun. The end is kind of funny and grisly at the same time. So first thing that sort of um, that I thought was okay. So Alex's parents have this aunt Gladys who has to leave. She lost her home, okay, and she doesn't have the money to go to a retirement home, so they let her stay with them. And the thing is that they nobody. I mean, she's a fucking witch, and nobody really realized it. I mean, she's probably doing witchcraft all her life. She looked weird. She has this weird, I think, wig on. Uh, she, she looks weird, very weird because Amy Madigan is it's a beautiful woman and she had a lot of makeup on, like her skin was white, those sunglasses and that pink, that red hair, but that she looks weird, really, really weird. And what she does basically is snips the hair of the parents, puts it around this stick, breaks it, and they're under her control. So what happens is she sort of zombifies the parents, but they listen to everything she is telling them. Now, after the kids were disappeared, this became a the FBI was involved. Normally in America, if something like this happens, it would be a national, you know, national thing, national news, and the FBI was involved. But for some reason, the only kid that wasn't missing, they don't really follow up on him. I mean, they go to the house, but those 17, let's see, 17, 20 kids are hiding in their fucking basement. So if the FBI said we did a thorough search house to house, you you never thought to look in the basement. Hmm. Now Justine goes through she gets beaten down, she gets threatened, she gets witch wrote on her car, and Archer did that, and at some point she sees Julia Gar. So what happens? At some point, Marcus, the principal, gives her a paid leave for the moment, you know, and the principal is a gay. He's a gay man, and he has a boyfriend. Now, at some point, Gladys is in his house. He comes from the supermarket, and he says, "Oh, do we have visitors?" Yes, we have. And then he's taking she took something, and she's doing something, and he's watching, and she took something from Marcus, and she does this, and then Marcus just kills his boyfriend, starts to hit him non-stop like this with his head until the other guy's head is pulp, but also Marcus's head is fucking pulp and cracked, and his eyes are bulging out because he didn't have bulging eyes. He's not a guy with bulging eyes. He had eyes really deep in his eye sockets, so he had his like they're almost ready to pop. And then you've got this scene where Justine and Archer meet up in a gas station, and Archer is trying to press her for more information, and she says, "I don't know fucking thing." And uh, you get, and that's a cool shot. You see, so Marcus is also sent to kill Justine because she is trying to meddle in Gladys, her, Gladys, her, her meaning of being there. And what happens is you see this kid, you see, they're standing on the pump it's outside, and you see Marcus. So they're arguing, and you see Marcus running in this Naruto run towards them, and it's cool because you see the and then he jumps on Justine, trying to kill her, trying to strangle her. Archer is trying to get him back, but these zombified people are pretty strong, and it's and eventually he gets killed because he's somehow they happens he ends up on a cross point on the roadway, and he gets ran over, and a gory scene. You only see like his face full of pulp and a piece of his face driven off. Now at this point, Archer sort of believes Justine that something more is going on. So what happens is, okay, um, he got the idea of that's Archer's now point of view, that he had an idea that every kid that ran away, he went to all the parents. Some are willing to help, some not. They see their kid running towards a certain direction, but he's a construction guy, so he knows maps, and he sees them all running towards a same goal. Now it's weird that everybody on their houses have cameras and nobody has seen, because they all ran into a street towards a house, and nobody's seen this with their cameras, that like but a platoon of kids is just running weirdly towards this house. And Gladys, basically the reason why all these kids are running towards her is that Gladys gave Alex, so they zombified her. Alex has to feed them, and they're like zombies. And Alex had, she said, if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna let your parents eat their skin alive until they're dead. So she's fucked up in the head. And then Alex says, "Okay, I will help," and she asks for trinkets of every kid of his class. He gets that, and she does these voodoo magic, and they come. The moment she does the breaking sign, they all come towards Alex's house. Then you have the cop's point of view. The cop takes this junkie. He says, "You don't have anything that can prick me in your pocket." And he says, "No." And he asks multiple times. He says, "No, no, no." He goes in. He gets pricked by a fucking needle. He slams him, but it's on camera. So he's saying, "Listen, I don't ever want to see your face again." He got that. So now he's afraid that he got AIDS. And then there's this moment when he sees the kid again. But the reason why he sees him is because he saw um, something weird happening at the, Alex's home. Yeah. So he wanted to go to the cops to give that information because there was a reward. And then he sees Paul, the cop, sees the junkie and he goes after him. What I told you, you little piece of shit. What I told you. And he's going after him, and he has this tent. He's living in a tent, and he's going after him, and he's holding this bunch of needles. And Paul opens and he's in his hand. Now he has like 10 needle pricks in his hand. And it's like, fuck. If he doesn't have AIDS now, he's probably gonna have it. Yeah. And then he says, listen. I know where the cats are. Because I think, what did he do? Oh yeah, he broke into their house. Like I said, and then he went into the basement and saw the kids in the basement. That's what happened. That's how he knows. So the cop goes to the house. He stays in for a long time. He gets zombified. At some point, the junkie's like, how long is he gonna be there? It's dark. Then you see the cop coming out. He's coming out towards the car, takes the junkie out of the car, drags him into the house, and he also becomes zombified. Something memorable. So Josh Brolin and Julia Garner go to that house. They see that it's all connected to this house, and they go in. They have to fight a zombified Paul, the cop, and they have to fight a zombified junkie. So they're fighting. Josh Brolin can easily fight the junkie because he's pretty. Josh Brolin is tough, but Justine, she has to fight Paul. He's stronger, and they get this fucked up scene where she gets this peeler, potato peeler, and she peels a piece of his skin away. It doesn't react. Then she blows his head off with his gun, and then he's gone. Josh Brolin defeats the junkie too, but what happens is that Gladys is cornered, but immediately she makes this sort of stick. I don't know how, and how she got that from Josh Brolin. I think she snipped something, like snip from his hair. I'm not sure. She cracks it. I seen this movie a few weeks ago. That's why I don't remember how she did it, but she cracks it, and he becomes now zombified, attacking Justine. But Alex, now being a renegade, trying to help Justine and Archer, going towards the voodoo room, and he takes Aunt Gladys's her hair, and he breaks it. Now, okay, so Josh Brolin, he lets Justine fall, okay, right? Archer lets Justine fall. He stops strangling her, and now you get this epic scene that I actually found funny. Maybe that's a dark comedy. So the wig is also in the voodoo room. You see a bald Gladys, and you see, oh my god, and she's running away through all these houses, through the neighbors, and everybody's like, what the fuck? And they're like, and then these kids go like an avalanche through those houses, jumping through doors, windows, and there's this one guy like, honey, Where's the control of the television set? And then he sees the old woman. Huh? And then these kids. Is flipped down. Is flipped down. And these kids are really just an avalanche going through these houses. Their windows, they just wreck all, or like a wrecking ball. They go through everything. And eventually they catch her and they rip her apart, literally. They bite her, they rip her apart, they just fuck her up. And that's the end of Gladys. Now, the thing that sort of bothered me was Josh Brolin comes back of his zombification, but the rest doesn't come back out of its zombified state. They do. There's then this after, story that they all are coming back very slowly, like the mom of Alex at some point laughs to Alex, and you see this little laugh that she is sort of happy again, but then she goes back to, and he still has to feed them. The kids also aren't normal. They're still like these catatonic voodoo zombified puppets, but they're slowly coming back. And it's weird. It's weird. Yeah. So Josh Brolin came back, but the rest didn't. So why did Josh Brolin come back, and all the others didn't? So that's something I didn't. So I thought, okay, if the witch dies, the curse dies. So everybody comes back, except the ones that were killed, like the cop, and the junkie, and Marcus, the principal. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But in any case, I like the ending where they just could the guy with the stupid television. Hey, hey, mom, where's the fucking television set? All those kids just running over him to catch Gladys, not hurting the people in those houses, but just destroying their entire living room and windows and doors, and they don't feel a thing because they fucking, like I said, do the Naruto run, and they just go headfirst through the fucking door. I mean, Jesus, little kids, 12 years old or something. So yeah, conclusion. The reason why I give it a 5.5 is, now actually I wanted to give it a 5 because it's a one-time watch for me, but I wanted to give it a 5.5 because it's good acting. It's that non-linear stuff in a horror movie. I did not see that before. It may exist, but I never seen that before. But it's pretty interesting. There are creepy moments. There are creepy moments, and Gladys is great as a villain. Yeah, she's great. Julia Garner as the, you know, uh, teacher Justine, how she gets brought down, everybody hates her. She does a great role because she goes from a civilized woman to this bitch, basically, because she doesn't care anymore. She becomes an alcoholic. She fucks Paul, although Paul is married, and married with a pregnant woman. And yeah, it's yeah. Any case, certainly a watch. It's a psychological horror movie more. It's a slow burn, but everything comes together nicely with those sides. And it's not that every side story takes a long time. The longest side stories are the one of Julia Garner, Justine, and then the second largest is Josh Brolin, Archer, and all the rest is not so long. So, and there are a few funny moments. Like I said, the kids running through all those houses, and then this bald woman going first, and then everybody, they're like, "Huh?" And then all those kids, and also the cop when he gets the syringe for the second time, but like three or four syringes, like the junkie uses it as a weapon. And it's like, fuck, not again. So I like that, and yeah, I like how Marcus with his bulging eyes came towards the gas station without any sound. You see him doing that weird run with arms open while Justine and Archer are having an argument, and then bam, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So that being said, I think Weapons is a well-made movie. There's a budget in it. It has great acting. It has a few uh, funny scenes. Actually, I thought it was funny with the junkie and the cop where he's just having all those needles in him, and then um, at the end, while it's also grisly because they tear the witch apart, but all those kids are just going through houses. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a slow burn, like I said, and there's a point that not a lot happens. It's basically a psychological horror movie slash mystery investigation movie to see what happened. Yeah, and the people of Justine and Archer take control of what happened because the police can't figure shit out, right? So there you go, Weapons. Give it a look, give it a try. You may enjoy it. Bye bye.